to the Random Moment Time Study Participant Training.
You are receiving the short training because your school has identified you as someone who may provide health services or Medicaid related administrative activities as part of your job.
This video explains your vital role in helping obtain federal funding that can support services provided in the school setting. Schools may receive payment through two school-based Medicaid programs. The first program is the Local Educational Agency Medi-Cal Billing Option Program, known as LEA-BOP. This program reimburses schools for certain health services provided to students, including evaluations, screenings, and health-related treatment services. The second program is the School-Based Medi-Cal Administrative Activities Program, most known as ESMA, but may also be known as SMA. The ESMA program reimburses for the administrative work that supports California's Medicaid program, such as helping students and their families apply for Medi-Cal, generating referrals for Medicaid-covered services, and coordinating or monitoring Medicaid services. To be paid for these services, participating schools must identify individuals that provide or support the qualifying services. So, what does that mean for you? Your school identified you as eligible to take part in the Random Moment Time Study, or RMTS, each quarter. The RMTS estimates how much staff time is spent on Medicaid reimbursable services so that a part of related costs may receive federal funding. Each quarter, individuals across the state are identified as eligible to participate in the time study, but only a small number are randomly selected to respond to a survey. If selected, we want you to be aware of what to expect. There are 5 steps related to the RMTS process, but don't worry, this will only take a few minutes of your time. Step 1. Notification. If you're selected to participate, you'll receive an email with a unique link up to 1 day before your RMTS moment. That email will identify the exact 1-minute period of your day that you must report. Step 2. The RMTS moment. At the date and time of your moment, continue your day as normal. Just take note of what you're doing and who you are with at that moment in time. Whether you're in the middle of a therapy session, talking to your coworker about weekend plans, or participating in staff training, simply make note of your activity at this 1 minute in time. Step 3. Respond to your RMTS moment. Shortly before your moment, you'll receive a notification to respond. Once your moment is passed, locate the notification email and click the unique link to respond to the survey with details of your activity. You may receive a short training before you respond to the following questions. Were you working at the time of your moment? For this response, you'll see a series of radio buttons to select your answer. If you were not working at the time of your moment, maybe you were at lunch, simply select the response that you were not working. Certify your response and your participation in the survey is complete. However, if you are working at the time of your moment, you'll be asked some additional questions. Who were you working with during this sample moment? Respond by saying who you were with during the 1-minute interval. If you were not with anyone, simply note that you were alone in the narrative response. If you were there with a coworker, parent, or student, indicate that in the narrative. But make sure that your answer does not include any personal information, such as the name of a student, parent, or colleague. Describe in detail the activity you are performing during your sampled moment. Add a description of what you were doing during the 1-minute interval. While adding detail is important, remember to keep responses limited to the singular activity you were doing during the 1 minute of time. Describe in detail why you were doing this activity during your sampled moment. When you answer, make sure to give enough background so it's clear why you were doing that activity. It helps explain your actions for anyone reviewing your response. And finally, direct service practitioners may also be asked a 5th question to help determine whether the activity in your response was being performed as part of a student's plan of care. To answer this question, you will see a list of options to select from to determine if the service is related to a plan of care. Some of these options are detailed here. For example, if the activity during your minute is related to a service in a student's IEP, you'll select the appropriate response to indicate the service is pursuant to an IEP. Please note that all pre-service tasks, like preparing for a session, and post-service tasks, such as updating progress notes or goals, are recognized as components of a plan of care. So what if your moment was not related to a care plan? That's okay. You will see an option to indicate the service was not pursuant to a care plan.
Just be sure to pick the option that best reflects the reason for the activity in your response. Step 4. Certification and submission of RMTS moment. After responding, you will be asked to certify that your responses are accurate before submitting the survey. Once you submit your responses, they cannot be altered. While it is best to respond to the survey right after the moment has passed, you will have a small grace period to submit your responses before your unique link expires. While your response link remains active, you will receive reminder emails until you respond. Step 5. Document your activity. Documentation for all moments is important. However, that documentation may look different depending on the type of activity you are doing during your 1-minute interval. If you are a direct service practitioner who is working to support a student at the time of your moment, your survey response should not identify the student. However, if requested, you must be able to link your moment response to existing service level documentation, such as an IEP, an assessment report, or progress notes. Moment responses are used to generate federal funding, so all participating schools must be prepared to provide supporting documentation of direct service moment responses. If you're conducting an activity that supports the administration of the Medicaid program, such as outreach or care coordination, your moment response itself will serve as documentation. Because the narrative response is what will support the federal funding, it is very important that your response provides enough clarity and detail to understand the activity and its purpose. Once you answer the question and certify the responses, your participation is complete. The whole process should take only a few minutes of your time. If your responses are vague or unclear, you may be asked follow-up questions to clarify your initial response. However, if your initial survey response is detailed and provides context as to why you were doing the activity, you're less likely to be asked clarifying questions. And don't worry, RMTS responses are not used to evaluate employee performance or efficiency. They are simply a way to help determine the amount of time spent supporting Medicaid-related activities. We want you to be successful, so let's go over a few important tips to support a successful response. Promptly respond to your moment. Best practice is to respond to your moment on the day it occurs. However, you will have a small grace period for the moment date before your link expires. In your moment response, focus only on the activity that you are doing during your 1-minute interval.
Provide enough detail so that anyone reading your response can get an accurate picture of who you were with, what you were doing, and why you were doing the activity. Do not include acronyms or personally identifiable information in your response. And with that, you are now prepared to receive your RMTS moment. Thank you again for your time and participation. Your cooperation with the RMTS is critical in supporting ongoing funding that directly impacts your school. Thank you.